Hey, thanks for coming back to the channel. I was gonna do a different subject on this call while I was having my coffee in the park, but there's been a lot of reporting energy on this particular subject as the anti-gun the anti-gun people pretty much know they've lost the legal fight with the Bruen decision at the U.S. Supreme Court. So they're trying to take a different approach, and that is to go directly after the manufacturers and their distributors of firearms. And they're trying to do it under the guise of bad marketing. Kind of like what Joe Camel, if you remember back then, the Joe Camel and the cigarette industry. That's how they got a lot of the tobacco companies jammed up, is because they were targeting young people with tobacco, and the same is true with uh, the vaping, things that are happening today. They change the flavors, and pretty much that's how you do it, right? Now, in some cases, that is not a federal thing. So the people in the states are trying to use this idea that they can sue um, for bad marketing or marketing to children, marketing to minors. Um, and some of the laws, especially the ones that just came out in California and New York, are so broad and non-specific that you could pretty much call anything marketing to minors. The effect that would have primarily is to have lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit to pretty much uh, bankrupt uh, bankrupt a manufacturing company. Now let's choke that chicken a little bit, see what comes out the other end. You've got a business that manufactures things, and by the way, law enforcement. Remember who owns all the guns for the government? The executive branch. The executive branch, meaning the president, owns all of the guns in the country used to enforce law and to fight wars. If you if you sue gun companies and they go bankrupt, the only place the government can get guns is Russia or China or Turkey, maybe. Unfortunately, there are federal laws and import laws against a lot of those guns. So the U.S. military could not get them. So the consequence of putting, let's get crazy, right? 100%, 100% of all the firearms manufacturers and ammunition manufacturers in the country are now out of business. Question: where is the executive branch and law enforcement going to get their guns, right? Because there's nobody around anymore. Think about that for a second, right? Now, whether they sue them out of business, or there could be another reaction. The gun manufacturers and their distributors say, we are no longer going to do business with any government in any state that has such a law. Insurance companies do something like this all the time, right? It's a market thing. They say, fine, you don't want you don't want guns in your state, we will take them all away. We will no longer provide service. We will no longer sell to your law enforcement anywhere, retired or otherwise, right? And where would the cops in California go to get guns in that case, right? Now, I, yeah, they're going to keep trying to do stupid stuff. But if you choke that chicken and go all the way to what the consequence is, there would be no place for law enforcement or the military in that state. Well, not the federal military. I checked that. because National Guard is supplied by the federal government, by Department of Defense. So the states might say we don't care, we don't want guns at all. In which case, there would be, you know, referendums to repeal such laws or whatever. But it would be interesting to see what the outcome is. Now, it also could be that they lose in court for such laws, even the ones where, like in California, they're deputizing individual citizens and saying, we'll give you a bounty of $10,000 per gun if you come up with a case that we win. We meaning the state wins against the manufacturer. So it's kind of crazy time, but I thought I'd kind of think through, well, what would that really mean? Um, and it's a skirmish that I think we would win. In the meantime, individual citizens can get. Let's say I lived in California and there was no one selling guns in California, right? Well, as a U.S. citizen, I have a Second Amendment right. I can go get a gun from Idaho and bring it to California. You see what I'm saying? Now, if the lawsuit puts the gun manufacturers out of business to such a degree that they cannot sell anywhere in the country, I think the blowback on that would be terrible. Meaning the gun manufacturers would win, because this isn't tobacco. This isn't some recreational thing. This is a constitutional right, and the right of self-defense is tied up in there. So, what do y'all think? Because it made me change my video subject for this morning. Thanks for coming to the channel. If you like the content, please subscribe, hit the bell icon when you do, and as always, where you can, carry on.